In fact, we are on fourth lesson. On the first chapter, we did the introduction. So, in the introduction, we saw that the first chapter is a case history or the problem statement of the Gita. Without understanding the problem, the solution will not be appreciated, or the solution will be applied to wrong solutions. That's what typically happens with Gita. People think Gita for a little bit of spiritual stimulus or little bit of consolation, forgetting the fact that this is a life transforming manual. So we saw that this problem is common to all human beings, and it happens at all places at all time. And the fundamental problem is I'm not able to control my mind. I'm not able to experience that uninterrupted happiness. When I'm not able to control my mind, naturally I'm not able to perform well, and I'm not able to experience that level of happiness continuously. So we saw that it's a three-step problem. The first one is the obsession. When this obsession of things, objects, beings and situations, it will generate emotional overwhelming. And when the emotional overwhelming happens, you are deluded. This was the problem statement we have been talking. So in the first chapter, we started with Dhritarashtra's question. Dhritarashtra's question means it is the question from the blind mind. The question from the blind mind. The blind mind is going to ask the introspection, an honest, impartial introspection about what is happening in my mind. Because without understanding what is happening in my mind, I cannot fix my mind. So that was the importance of the first question. So historically, Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya. Sanjaya is whom? Who is a impartial, honest, faithful reporter. What is happening in the field of Kurukshetra? What is happening in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? So Sanjaya started reporting, which was from verse 2. He saw that Duryodhana, the leader of the Kauravas, approached Drona, the teacher of both Kaurava and Pandava, and started a discussion. Basically, he enumerated who are all the forces in the Kaurava family and who are all the forces in the Pandava family. This is what we saw so far. So, symbolically, right, we said the Kurukshetra battle is happening inside me. So, I need to know the battle is happening between whom. So, typically my mind is blind to what is happening inside me. So, I employed or I initiated a self-analysis process within myself. The self-analysis is basically looking at impartially. What is happening in my side, right? What is happening? What is driving me? What type of emotions are driving me? What type of thoughts are driving me? How am I responding to that emotion? What exactly I am feeling in myself? Am I able to execute the task in my hand? Am I able to relate with other people, right? And what exactly I am feeling when other people interact with me? So we saw. So symbolically we saw that in every mind, in every human mind, there are positive, noble virtues, and in every mind, there are destructive emotions and negative thoughts. We saw that, right? We saw the Pandavas are in my mind, and the Kauravas are in my mind. So, at that point of time, what happened? Bhishma, your own ego, the sense of I-ness within me, it started blowing the conch. That means it started, okay, typically what happens, the self in me or the individuality in me typically go with the negative thoughts, even though I have the positive thoughts are there. So when Bhishma started blowing the conch, all the Kauravas started blowing the conch. There was a lot of noise, confusion in my mind. So at that point of time, let's see the other side of the spectrum. What is happening with the Pandavas? So today, we will cover verses 14 to 19. So let's hear the chanting and then we will go to the verses.
ततश्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति स्यन्दने स्थितौ माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खौ प्रदध्मतुः पाञ्चजन्यं हृषीकेशः देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रं दध्मौ महाशङ्खं भीमकर्मावृकोदरः अनन्तविजयं राजा कुन्तीपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुलः सहदेवश्च सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः धृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिश्चापराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः शङ्खान् दध्मुः पृथक् पृथक् सघोषो धार्तराष्ट्राणां हृदयानि व्यदारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव tumulo vyanunaadayan.
See what is happening. Lot of verses. Again, I am not running fast. First chapter, we will go like this. When the actual teaching starts, we will go slow. We don't have to rush. So here, drama, as I said, like it was not a developed branch in Sanskrit. Early Sanskrit, if you look at early Sanskrit, drama was not much developed. Here, if you really look at the Gita, you see a wonderful dramatic situation. Imagine the first scene was what? Dhritarashtra talking to Sanjaya. So from there, what happened? The next scene is Duryodhana speaking to whom? Drona. So he enumerated everything, and then the focus shifted to Bhishma, who blew the conch, and from Bhishma, it was a whole view, like you saw the whole Kauravas blowing the conch. Just like a modern director, like if you really look at the modern cinematography rules, you would see these type of things. Like initially they have to have an establishment shot. That is what is happening with Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya. Here, so all the Kauravas discussion were enumerated. At that time, your attention is taken into something brilliant. Tata shvetair hayair yuktair mahati sendane stiro Madhava Pandavas Chaiva Divyau Shankau Pradak Pradak. So at that time, your attention is brought into white horses, 5 white horses. Brilliantly portrayed, right? 5 white horses. Behind that horses, it's like, imagine like you're watching a movie. All these noises happening. From there, the shot moves to 5 white horses coming. From there, a beautiful chariot. Mahati Swandane Stidau. Tata Shvetair Hayair Yuktai. Then, Shvetama means what? White. Hayair, horses. Yuktai, yoked. What is that? Mahati Swandane Stidau. A Sandana means a chariot. What type of chariot it is? A special chariot. It's a beautiful chariot. Magnificent chariot. Mahati Syantane Sthido. So from that chariot, remember, horses, it described a beautiful chariot, and within that chariot, who is sitting? Madhava. Madhava is one. Lord Krishna. And Madhava Pandava. Pandava means the son of Pandu, Arjuna. They also started blowing their conch. Okay, I'll just give the literal meaning and we'll go deep meaning. Then, what is that? Now, Mahabharata. Gita is part of naturally Mahabharata. What is Mahabharata? It is a Mahakavya. It's not an ordinary poem. It's a Mahakavya. Mahakavya means the details would be that much. So, here he is enumerating the name of these conches. So, Panchajanyam Rishikesham. Who blew the conch first from the Pandava side? Not Thrishtabdimna, not Bhima, who were the commander-in-chiefs, not even Arjuna, who is the predominant warrior. Lord Krishna blew the conch. Panchajanyam Rishikesha. The conch of Lord Krishna is known as Panchajanyam. I'll explain the meaning of Panchajanyam. Rishikesha, that is the name used. Sanskrit is a context sensitive language, and I will explain why a particular name is used in each situation. Vyasa is so particular in what exactly he named, the names he uses for each character. So Panchajanyam Rishikesha, Lord Krishna blew the conch called Panchajanyam. Deva Dattam Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is the name of Arjuna. He blew the conch called Deva Dattam, that which is given by the Devas or the celestial being. That is what the meaning of Deva Dattam. Pauntram Datmau Mahashankau Bhima Karma Vrikodara. Who is Vrikodara? Bhima. Bhima Karma, he can do terrible actions or difficult action. One who can execute difficult action. Bhima, the one who can execute difficult action or very, very challenging action, that Bhima, he blew his conch. That conch's name was Pauntra. The name used for Bhima here is Vrikodara. Vrikodara. Typically, when you say Bhima, what is the picture of Bhima comes to your mind? Huge person with a fat belly. What is Vrikodara? Vrika means wolf. What is the speciality of wolf? The tummy is very flat. Whatever, he eats a lot, but his flat tummy is very flat. So, if you have a wrong image of Bhima in your mind, remove it. He's a perfectly fit person. So, Bhima Karma Vrikodara. So now, Arjuna's name is what? Dhananjaya, the one who conquered all the wealth. Because who is in the modern world, a professional? The difference between an executive vice president and a clerk, what is the difference? He can perform more work and he can earn more money. So, a skilled person, naturally his value will be higher. Arjuna is called Dhananjaya. He can conquer any amount of wealth. So, he's an extremely skilled person. Remember that word using, because what is going to happen is to that CEO kind of person, the president kind of a person of a country. He is educated, he is skilled, he has proven his merit. That person, he blew his conch. Then, Ananta Vijayam Raja, Kundi Putro Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira means what? The one who stay firm in wars. He calmness, like he stay calm. He is always calm. He is not worried. Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is the eldest Pandava as far as the history. His conscious name is called Ananta Vijay. That is his conscious name. Don't worry about the meaning and all. His conscious name is Ananta Vijay. He blew that conch. Kundi Putro Yudhishthira. The other two Pandavas, Nakula and Sahadeva, they also blew their conch. Sughosha and Mani Pushpaka. That is the name. So, Yudhishthira's conch is known as Ananta Vijayam. Bhima is Pauntram. Arjuna is Devadattam. Nakula is Sughosha. And Sahadeva is Mani Pushpaka. Don't by heart these things, no, it's not going to help you at all. The modern warfare, right? The commander-in-chief may have a different emblem, that's it. Even in the modern, the number of stars or whatnot, I don't know. Like in army, you have that effort. Yeah, symptoms are there. So, Krishna's conch is Panchajanya. Now, not stop. He is enumerating other people also, right? Ananta Vijayam Raja, Kundi Putro Yudhishthira, Nakula Sahadevascha, Sughosha, Mani Pushpakau. Kashyascha Parameshwasa, the king of Kashi, the king of Varanasi. The king of Varanasi is prime minister now. Like that, who was the king at that point of time? So, Kashyascha Parameshwasa, what is his speciality? His bow is big. He has a big, powerful bow. The king of Kashi was on the Pandava side, he carried a big bow. Parameshwasa. Shikhandicha Maharatha. The transgender Shikhandi. He's termed as a Maharatha. So he is also a powerful warrior. Then Drishtadyumno Viradascha. Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna is the commander-in-chief of the Pandava army. He is the son of Drupada. Viradascha, the king of Virata. That is where they went and stayed 1 year. Satyaki. Satyaki is another king, means ruler or a warrior. Aparajita. What is the speciality of Satyaki? Typically it is very difficult to defeat him. Drupado Draupadeyascha. Drupada means one whose pada is strong and firm, like a tree. That is the literal meaning. So the king of Panchala is the father-in-law of all the Pandavas, the father of Draupadi. Drupado Draupadeyascha. The sons of Draupadi. Draupadi has 5 sons. Prativindyan, Sutta Soman, Shruta Kirti, like that. We don't have to go to that level. Drupado Draupadeyascha. Sarvasha Prithivipate. Saubhadrascha Mahabahu. Sarvasha Prithivipate. Prithivipate meaning the rulers of the earth, kings. Saubhadrascha Mahabahu, son of Subhadra, Abhimanyu. Mahabahu is only 14 or 16, but he is very powerful. Shankhan Datmau Pradak Pradak. Everybody started blowing their conch. Just like Kauravas did, Pandavas also did. And what happened? Because of that blowing conch, it's a lot of noise, one after the other. Then Sakosho Thartarashtranam Hridayani Vyadaraya. Hridaya means heart. Thartarashtranam means the Kaurava army. So when the Pandava people started blowing their conch, it pierced the heart of Dhritarashtra's son. Because that scene was really terrific, and naturally when you are on the path of adharma, even if you are strong, you will be afraid. That's one rule. Napascha prithivim chaiva tumulo vyanunaden. Napascha means sky. Prithvi means earth. So the sound of this whole sound reverberated in the earth and sky. This is the literal meaning of the verse. So once again, the attention is taken to Pandava side. Krishna, Arjuna, and the magnificent chariot shown, and within that Krishna started blowing the conch, Arjuna started blowing the conch, and then like all the Pandava people started blowing the conch, and that was a fearful sight for all the Dhritarashtra's sons and the Kauravas people. Now, symbolically, what happens? When means we saw that on a high level, Pandavas means the positive forces in my mind. The good thoughts, emotions, everything is Pandavas. And the negative forces, the bad thoughts and all these terrible destructive emotions. I told about a book, right, last time? Destructive Emotions. If you can read that, it's there in the OneDrive. You can download and read that book. Amazing book. Destructive Emotions. It will tell you how the impact of this destructive emotions. And the entire learned optimism, this another book I quoted a couple of weeks back. That book will show you the impact of the positivity. If you're interested, okay, let me just go to the verses and tell you a couple of more scientific. So this verse meaning we already saw. So the theme is the positivity. If you have positivity in your mind, it will destroy anything negative in your mind. So the first skill you need to teach all your kids and yourself is what? Positivity. Power of positivity. There is another book. It's a modern book. It's amazing, like how if you are positive, it can change your life. The positivity, but the problem is what? Whenever we face a situation, so today when you just go out, right, you see that your car tire the air is gone. Hope it is not the case. I'm just making an example. The reason I'm saying is that one day I told some example like this, it just happened. I never even imagined. The person was so sad and upset. It can happen. Randomly it can happen. There is nothing. Make it happen. So imagine you're going to work tomorrow, not here today. So you have a 9 o'clock conference call with your boss and everybody, and you went out and say the car is not starting. What would be the first thought comes to your mind? Or you are driving in 287. The traffic is too packed. we cannot move you. And which is a very common sight in dualism. So, the first thought comes to your mind is going to determine your mental state. If that first thought is going to be, okay, it is what it is, I'm going to call AAA or I'm going to call my roadside assistance and fix the car and go. You will make a call to your boss, say that something happened. It's okay, everybody understands that. But on the other hand, imagine my teenager took my car yesterday. Oh, he might have forgot to switch off the light, or he might have done something. Then what happened from this to that, my mental state will be terrible. Every one of us, all of us, everybody in this room know that this automatic thought should be positive. No doubt about it, right? Everybody. But practically speaking, when the situation happens, what thought comes?
We can face this situation.
Extremely, you will find a scapegoat, and you will find a scapegoat, and you will make yourself extremely miserable, and you will make sure that people around you are equally miserable. Isn't it? But imagine if you can develop this positive thoughts, and Krishna and Arjuna and Bhima and all those people, those Conch is the one that reverberates. That is, if that happens, you will be able to face the situation. The other day we saw the example, right? The layoff news. When the layoff happens, I can take it in two different ways. Sometimes a change is always good, otherwise you would have stayed in that company forever. Otherwise you can always look at that this is the end of the world. If you look at that as the end of the world, and if you don't update your skills, if you don't try what needs to be done, the probability of recovery is impossible. So how do I program my mind? Because this negative thought comes to me without me wanting. How do I program my mind in such a way that the automatic thought comes to my mind is positive thoughts? This is one of the key topics discussed in Gita. Not immediately, it's a little bit later. But here the point is this, let's see. Okay, so many automatic thoughts comes to our mind when we face a situation. And typically, as I said, these are negative thoughts. And if by any chance, if these automatic thoughts are negative thoughts, I am gone. So, the question is, are we helpless in front of these negative automatic thoughts? Let's evaluate that a little bit more. So, what is the solution? Go to modern psychology. What they say? Positive thinking. Positive thinking is the solution. And Geeta is going to give you a better solution to program that positive thinking in your psyche. We will see that specifically later as a life skill. So positive thoughts and vibration, who are they? Pandavas, Krishnas, right? So how do I make sure that they are the active people in my mind? They are the dominating people in my mind. So that's exactly what this verse means. I need to make sure that I identify those Krishna, Arjuna, Bhima, Yudhishthira and propitiate them. That is the goal. So now the question is, another book I'll tell you. It's called Mind Over Medicine. This is an amazing book. If you haven't read it, it's a must-read book. Mind Over Medicine by Dr. Lisa Rankin. Dr. Lisa Rankin is a she gives talks to various corporates right now. She was a medical doctor. She found that something was lacking in the treatment. What was that? Positivity. Hundreds of examples were given. Not just example. These are clinically proven, scholarly, peer-reviewed articles. So, one example, you might have heard this placebo effect. What is placebo effect?
You give a tablet which is not really a tablet.
Yeah. So in England, there was one case study reported. I'll just give one case study and then we'll go. A lot of people had their knee pains. And upon the examination, they found that this is psychological, pure psychological. So they try to treat them psychologically by telling that, okay, this will go away, go away. Nobody reported. So the doctor thought, okay, I am going to do an experiment. So what he said was, there is a surgery. If you go to that surgery, your pain will go away. So what did they do? They took these people into the surgical place, did some anesthesia, local anesthesia, did some minor stuff, and put some plasters, etc., and pretended as if they have gone through a surgery. You won't believe 75% of the people reported that their knee pain is gone. Hundreds of examples, even the cancer cure, like there are 2-3 stories mentioned, the cancer cure. So for a cancer patient, they try this placebo and automatically it cures. So the basic understanding is that your immune system is capable of fighting with a lot of diseases, but you don't give a chance because of stress. If the stress is there, the immune system will not work. So positive thinking, positive thoughts, think positively. Unless and otherwise something happens, you have to face it, think positively. Of course you have to plan B should be there, but you have to prepare for the worst, but you should hope for the best. That's what this verse tells us. Okay. So these positive forces, these verses reminds us, impartial introspection Sanjaya told us that in my psyche, in my mind, these positive forces are there. The power of calmness, the life force control, everything, self-control, power to stay quiet, memory, everything is there. But what happens? In that war, I just surrender to the Kauravas. So it is already there. First thing is that, understand that if right now, forget about your state. You may feel depressed, you may feel sad, you may feel terrible, but understand that in your mind, the others are also there. It is not dominant right now. So how do I make it dominant? That is what the sadhanas, the practices are. I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit more. So Arjuna, in this particular case, is the self-control. So the positive thoughts initiated by the self-control, led by spiritual wisdom. Krishna is the spiritual wisdom, Arjuna is the self-control. These two we need to install and cultivate. And that is the Krishna we should propitiate. The external Krishna is only a symbolic representation of that internal Krishna. And if I'm going to show that with the Pramana, with the Upanishad quoting, because don't think that I'm just making up this symbolism. Because nowadays what happens, all these people, we try to reverse engineer everything. So at least I have to show you the connection so that you know that I'm not bluffing or reverse engineer. So that's the thing. The point is that God has given you all the power, like the power of positivity, everything is there. I just need to propitiate. Whoever I cultivate and propitiate will dominate. And I just need to identify these Krishna, Arjuna and Bhima, everybody in my mind, and I need to propitiate. If you don't want to call them Krishna, Arjuna, give a modern name, that's fine. That doesn't matter. But identify these positivities in you. Okay? So these are some of the symbolism of the conscious. We will just quickly review. Mani Pushpaka. Mani Pushpaka means that which manifests by its sound. Mani means what? Bell. Pushpaka. Its symbolic, literal meaning is what? It opens like a, when the flower opens, there is a small, if there is a sound, it won't disturb anything, but that is the thing. It represents the focus in yourself. Then Sukhosha. Sukhosha means that which sounds clear and sweet. Su-khosha means what? Sound. Su prefix means what? Focused, clear, clarity sound. Devadatta means that which is given by the Devas. Meaning how to connect with our own potential. So when Devadatta, that thoughts comes in, when that sound, the conch blows, I will be able to connect with my own positivity, my own high potential. And then Pauntra means that which disintegrates. All the Bhima is known for that. He can disintegrate anything. So that is what the Pauntra. And then Ananta Vijaya, that conquers the infinity. It is the calmness. Without being calm, you cannot conquer anything. So that is the calmness. Don't worry about this, just for completeness I'm telling. And Panchajanya means that which generates the entire universe. Panchabhuta, that which generates the Panchabhuta is Panchajanya. So by the way, like, don't think that all these Puranic stories, don't take all these Puranic stories literal. The story is what? There was a demon called Panchajana, and Krishna went and destroyed him and took this conch. And this conch is used for dharma kahalam, like to symbolize the dharma. This is what the symbolism. So if you really go and take a history, Krishna won't even get a bail. That much killing he has done, literally speaking. But the other day I explained, when in our literature, when they say killing, what does that mean?
Killing that bad trait.
The whole personality change, like he transforms a person. One modern example, when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa met Vivekananda as Narendra, what happened? Narendra initially said, okay, this guy means Vivekananda was so honest in his writing. Initially he said, this guy is useless, all those things he said. Finally what happened? That Narendra died. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, so Vivekananda came out of that. And Vishnu, when he kills a demon, what exactly is the weapon he uses? Sudarshanam. What does that mean? Darshanam means what? Vision. Sudarshanam means noble vision. Only through noble vision that happens. So it's not physical killing. Somewhere along the line, people try to represent this and then it distorted everything. Hiranyaksha, the other day I said, right? Vishnu killed Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha means what? The one who always see gold, money in everything. So even if there is a situation, he will think how much profit I am going to make. Hiranya Aksha, one whose eyes always see Hiranya, gold. So when Vishnu kills Hiranyaksha, it happens in my mind. Vishnu kills that tendency and see, like, there is something more than money, you have to look for. That's it. And this killing is happening even now. So when your kids ask, because they may get confused when they read all these serials and books, they say that today God is killing whom? This is what happens. So be careful. Okay. Then these positive forces, right? These positive forces or thoughts will enable, it keeps our mind. See, Pandavas had to face a huge Kurukshetra war with all the struggles. Bhishma Drona Tata, Jayadratha Jala, Gandhara Nilorpada, right? Shalya Grahavati, Kripena Vahini, Karnayana Velakula, Ashwadhama Vikarna Khora Mahara, Duryodhana Vardhini, so Tirna Khalu, Pandavai Rananadi Kaivartaga Keshava. We studied in the Gita Dhyana. This river of battle life, with all the difficulties, everywhere it is problem. So much of blind spot. With these positive forces, with the support of the Lord Krishna, Krishna means the spiritual wisdom, you will be able to cross without any problem. This is the teaching of all the scriptures in the world, not just Gita. Whether you take Bible, Quran or any book, you will see the same teaching. Of course, you have to see this in this way. Okay. So, now, let's go to the last part of our topic. So, this verse is clear. So, we said, so many people started blowing conches, and these conches made these negative forces or the Duryodhanas terrible. But now let's see what exactly is the significance of this chariot. So this chariot analogy, the analogy of a chariot. Chariot means Krishna, Arjuna, the horses, the chariot. This idea came from one of the most popular Upanishads. And that Upanishad is Kathopanishad. Have you heard of that name? Kathopanishad? Those who attended our Vedanta class, we discussed Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad, the idea is, Yamadharma teaches this to Nachiketa, a small boy. This is the theme. And you can see a lot of things in the Bhagavad Gita is a verbal copy of Kathopanishad. A few verses. So Krishna tells, this is not my theory. In the 4th chapter he tells, I don't own the copyright of this teaching. He tells, I took it from other sources. Patanjali tells the same thing when he in Yoga Sutra. He tells, this is not my teaching, I took this from other teachers. So this chariot analog comes from Kathopanishad. It is chapter 1.3 verses 3 to 11. That is the verses this exactly called out. This imagery of a chariot, the reins, horses, the charioteer, the owner of the chariot, all this comes there. So we are going to see that. Logically look at this. This doesn't make any sense. If there is 5 horses, it won't go symmetrically. So that itself shows, in Mahabharata there might be only, original history there might be only 4 horses or 2 horses. But in this particular example, if you see this diagram is very popular diagram. You will see 5 horses. So what does that mean? So let's understand this. And this explanation gives the basic understanding of the yoga philosophy. Bhagavad Gita has yoga. So this yoga is very well explained in this. So let's see what exactly it is. So this is the verses. I'm going to play this, and you don't have to study this in advance.
What's the significance of the color white for horses?
Swatik. Swatik, the color means, we'll see this in the later 14th chapter. The varna means color. Color means not the color of your skin, please. That's what you have to avoid. So color means the temperaments of your mind. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasham. Guna is what is determined this. And we never said one is lower, the other one is higher. Please keep in mind that if Krishna had defined that, he himself would have gone out from that equation, because he is a Shudra, right? Per classification, he is a Yadava. In the modern scheme of reservation, Yadava is somebody who has reservation. The proud Yadavas, Ladus and all those people, they are the descendant of Krishna. No, let's keep it there. So let's talk about this. Symbolically, white represents purity. And that's it. It's not the color of the body. So later we will see, in the Upanishads we are going to study, we will see, one person may have white color in the body, but if his mind is dark, he is useless. Another person, like the Kannappas and all these Nayanars and all those people, they are really, in Chidambaram you have, right, that scheme. Every state has their own such people. Vyasa himself is a fisher woman's son. Valmiki is a tribal.
Agastya.
Yeah, everybody is like Agastya, who moved from north to south. All the Tamil literature are rooted to Agastya. So let's talk about this. This is, we will study this detail in Kathopanishad, but at least on a very high level. So I'll just play.
Atmanam radhinam vidhi Shariram radhamevatu Buddhittu saradhim vidhi Manah pragrahamevacha.
Atmanam radhinam buddhi. Vidhi. Vidhi means it comes from the root vid. Vid means Vedas. That Veda came from that root vid. Vid means to know. Know that the self or the Atma, don't have a wrong meaning. Okay, if you have some meaning of Atma, leave it there. So the individual self in you is the owner of the chariot. So Arjuna in this particular case. Sharira Ratha Evachu. Your own body is the chariot. Buddhim cha saradim vidhi. Know that your intelligence with proper knowledge. Because pickpocketer also, or no, the what is that? The frauds also has intelligence. Those who break cyber security and get in, they also are intelligent people. But intelligence guided by proper spiritual wisdom. Mana pragraha evacha. So intelligence is the charioteer, the ratha, the chariot is the body, your individual self, the Jivatma, whatever you call it as, it is the owner of the chariot. Then mana pragraha evacha. Mana is what? Mind is your reins. So Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi Shariram Ratha Evacha Evatu Buddhim Tusaradhim Vidhi Mana Pragraha Evacha. When we study Upanishad, by heart this is so good. Then the next one is, let's see.
Indriyani hayanahu Vishayamsteshu gocharan Atmendriya manoyuktam Bhoktetyahur manishinaha Yastu avijnanavan bhavati Ayuktena manasa sada Tasyendriyanyavashyani Duštashva iva saradhe Yastu vijnanavan bhavati Yuktena manasa sada Tasyendriyani vashyani Sadashva iva saradhe.
So, Indriyani hayanyahu Vishayan teshu gocharam Atmendriya manoyuktam Bhoktyektashu manishinaha. So, Indriyani hayanyahu, the horses, the 5 horses are what? 5 sense organs. What are the 5 sense organs? Eyes, ears, nose, skin, and where exactly is the path of these horses? Sensory world. The eyes travels where? Where there is a form and a color. Ears travels where? Sound. Tongue? Taste. And then skin. Yeah. So the owner of the chariot, he wants to go to a destination. Okay, I want to get artificial intelligence certification by end of this month. This is the goal. I'm just harmless example. Or even as simple, I need to keep my morality. I need to get up and do my exercise. I need to eat well. This is the goal of myself. But the horses, what they do? Let's see. Yastu avijnanavan bhavati Ayuktena manasa sada. The one who is not well informed, one who is not trained, right? Ayuktena manasa sada. He don't have control over the horses. What is going to happen? Tasyendriyani avashyani Duštashva iva saradhe. Then what happens? The charioteer will not have any control over the chariot. So your goal is what? Artificial intelligence certification. But one horse will go to a movie, the other horse will go to a where? Restaurant. The third horse will go to some music concert. I'm just taking harmless example. It can be really bad. And then what? Smell. So imagine, okay, there are 2 scenarios. One is the horses means charioteer decides that, okay, he wants that, but I'm going to enjoy. At least these horses will go to a different direction. But sometimes what happens? People have no control. Whatever they see, at that time they'll go for that. If I see a good thing, I'll go for that. If I see an advertisement, I'll go and buy it. If I hear something, so these horses will go different direction. It will crash the chariot and the person will not reach anywhere. So, yeah, that is what is. Yastu avijnanavan bhavati. Look at the sandhi. Avijnan. This is yes, yaha tu avijnanavan bhavati. Next verse is yastu vijnanavan bhavati. There is only one word difference, but the meaning is completely changing. Yastu avijnanavan bhavati ayuktena sahasa. He is ayukta. Yukta means what? Yukta comes from the word root of yoga, yuj. It means control. So if you don't have control over your mind, intellect and senses, what is going to happen? Tasyendriyana avishyani. Your sense organs are not in your control. It is like bad horses driving you. There's a famous story, a joke. Somebody in the West put that out. There was a huge plane crash. Before the plane took off, just went up, it landed and crashed. A lot of people died. So the press and the investigating officers came over there. They couldn't find anybody like to see what happened. And unfortunately they saw a monkey there. So don't ask me questions how the monkey survived. That's not the point. So the monkey, they asked, what happened? The monkey said, everybody was sleeping. Then what happened? The captain was sleeping. What happened to the associate captain? He was also sleeping. Then who drove the plane? I did that fine. So the uncontrolled mind is equated in our literature as what? Monkey. So if the monkey mind drives me, how can I expect success? Why are you saying that my star is not good? Why are you saying that my boss is bad? Why are you saying that my spouse is not giving me enough support? If my monkey mind is driving things, this verse tells me that disaster. What we do, we try to correct everybody else's chariot. But we don't know whether my chariot, who is my charioteer? Whether the charioteer has control over the reins and am I driving it properly? That's very important. So next is what? Yastu vijnanavan bhavati. Earlier it was avijnanavan bhavati. Now vijnanavan bhavati. Vijnanavan bhavati, well-informed person. What is going to happen? Yuktena manasa sada. Earlier it was what? Ayuktena manasa sada. But now it's yuktena. Yuktena means what? I have control. What happens? Yuktena manasa sada. Then tasyendriyani vashyani. His sense organs are in his control. Earlier what? Tasyendriyani avashyani. I didn't have control over my sense organs. So a proper driver is driving. Then what happened? Satvashva ivasa. That horses are Sat Ashwa. The earlier horses were Dushtashva, meaning not so good horses. Here, good horses. So the Gita's analogy of Krishna, Arjuna and the chariot coming from here. I quoted the verses, exact verses, so that you don't have any doubt that we are making it up. So let's go to a few more verses.
Atmanariyani hayanahu Atmanam pradhinam vidhi Indriyani hayanahu Shayamsteshu gocharan Atmendriyamanoyuktam Bhoktetyahurmanishinaha Yastu avijnanavan bhavati Ayuktena manasa sada Tasyendriyanyavashya Indriyani hayanahu Vishayamsteshu gocharan Atmendriyamanoyuktam Bhoktetyahurmanishinaha Yastu avijnanavan bhavati
Avijnanavan. Yastu avijnanavan bhavati. Ayuktena manasa saka. Only one letter difference. Tasyendriyani avashyani.
Dushtashva iva sarati.
Crystal clear. Yastu vijnanavan bhavati.
Yuktena
manasa saka. Not the difference, only one letter.
Tasyendriyani
vashyani.
Satvashva
iva sarati. Again the same thing.
Avijnanavan bhavati.
Again avijnanavan.
Amanaska sadashuchi.
Amamanaska sanasisi.
Nasa tatpadamapnodi. Samsaram chadi gacchati.
Where he end up? And what is
Yastu
going
Vijnanavan
Now Vijnanavan.
Samanaska Sadashujihi
Earlier it was Amanaska. Now it is Samanaska.
Padamapnodi Yasmat Bhuyo Najayade
Where he ends up.
Vijnana Saradhiryastu Mana Pragrahavan Naraha Sodvana Paramapnodi Tadvishno Paramam Padam Indriyebhya Parahyartham Artebhyascha Param Manaha Manasastu Para Buddhihi Buddhatma Mahan Paraha Mahada Paramavyaktam Avyaktat Purusha Paraha Purushatma Param Kinchita Sakashta Saparagadi.
Brilliant, right? This is next is Yastu Avijnanavan Bhavati. Again, one who has no control, not informed. What happens? Amanaska Sadashuchi. His mind is not in his hand. What is going to happen? Nato Tatpadamapnodi. Wherever he wants to reach, he will not reach. And where he reach? Samsaram Jadi Gachati. What is samsaram? Not wife in town they call it. Right? Yeah.
Material world.
Yeah. Material world is not what the explanation, right? You cannot escape from the material world. You are in the material world. The problem is, you think that I will get happiness from here, I'll get happiness from there, I'll chase things and beings and get into a, always I feel stressed, miserable, that stage, samsara. So, the horses will take control, that means the master wants to go to one place, charioteer has a different idea, the reins are not in his control, the horses will go in different direction, and as a result, you may get in a different direction, sometimes hospital. That also can happen. Meaning, that will take you into trouble, that's what I meant. On the other hand, what happened? Yastu Vijnanavan Bhavati. If you are informed, what is the style of the Upanishad? 2 snapshots. It didn't ask you to follow one. It will tell you, this is one, this is one. Take. Yastu Vijnanavan Bhavati. Samanaska Sadashuchi. His mind is not Amanaska. His mind is in his hand. And what is going to happen? Sadatatpadamapnodi. He will reach his destination. What is going to happen? Yasmat Bhuyo Najayati. Once you go there, you don't have to turn back at all. That state of happiness, that state of contentment, that state of glory you will achieve. So this is the theme of the entire yoga. And then Vijnana Staradari Yajnu Yastu. So that verse is telling, if your charioteer is well informed and he has the ability to control the mind and horses, what is going to happen? Where you will, Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam, you will reach the state of Vishnu, the adobe of Vishnu. Don't think that you will reach Vaikunta, that place. No. Vaikunta is symbolically means what? A place which gives me complete happiness and contentment. That's what it is. And then the last 2 verses I just added for the completeness. It is not connected with these things. It tells like, even though the world is, something is happening outside the world, your sense organs you can control. Even the sense organs capture that. With your mind you can control the sense organs. Even if I see a tempting situation, right? Your mind means you don't have to look at that. You can turn back and go. Even if you look at that, your mind, you can say that this is not good for me, it is not good for my health, or it is not good for my dignity, I can move away. And even more than mind, the intellect has control, power. And even the intellect yourself has power. Like that, it just gives a sequence of ownership. That's fine. But the key point I wanted to convey here is the Ratha Kalpana. So let's see a little bit more. So this is the Ratha Kalpana. So you can look at this. So the self, individual self, is the Arjuna, the body is the chariot, your mind is your reins, and the sense organs are what? It is the 5 horses, and then finally your intelligence is your Krishna. So suppose somebody say that I don't accept Krishna, that's fine. Do you accept this intelligence? That's it. So you don't have to go and argue that. This is what it is. So this is one of the key messages used in Gita from Kathopanishad. And please keep this in mind, because we may have to use this again and again. So now the horses of sense organs ride through the path of sense objects. That is what happens. Remember the path. Path of the sense organs is sound, taste, touch, smell, everything. Discuss this. And then union of this body, mind, senses, intellect. That is what is called yoga. So yoga, when you are in yoga, what is going to happen? Smooth ride. Krishna will be there. He will ride the chariot to the appropriate destination. I may choose to enjoy, but it is my choice. The problem is what? Uncontrolled activities. If I decide what needs to be done, I will be able to do what needs to be done. So this is very important. It's not easy. So even in Vatmiki Ramayana, right? Though I just give every day a little bit of tips on Vatmiki Ramayana. So in Vatmiki went and asked Narada, Konasmin Sampradam Loke Gunavan Kascha Viryavan Dharmaschascha Kritaschascha Satyavakyo Dhritavrata. So 2 words he uses here. And one thing he tells is, I want a prototype for the human being. But don't tell me that once upon a time, one person was there in heaven, he demonstrated this value. So Asmin Loke, in this world, with somebody with flesh and blood, and Gunavan Kascha Viryavan, one who has inculcated all the gunas, the value system that talks in scriptures. And second thing is Viryavan. Some people, I may have all the gunas. I value honesty, I value calmness, I value every gunas, fearlessness. But the moment I hear something, the fear comes to me. So the one is accept the value. Second one is ability to demonstrate that value, and that is called virya. So what Vatmiki is asking to Narada is, give me one example who has this dharmascha and what the virya one. And then a couple of things he will tell. One is the kritaschascha, gratitude. What is the gratitude is one of the most noble virtue everybody has to have. Rama's story, you would see like a squirrel went and put a small sand in the Rameshwaram bridge. Everybody was laughing, but Rama took that squirrel and thanked him. And you can see that in tribal person Shabari, right? In Shabari, how did she feed him? By biting him. And what did he do? He hugged and he thanked her. Every minor thing he was thankful, right? That is, don't look at Rama, but a person who demonstrates that. So here, a person who demonstrates this ability of values and ability to follow that value. You have to have that value and ability to follow that value. And on the other hand, what is going to happen? So when we are deluded, what is going to happen? The sense organs will go all the sides, like a convex lens. The light, when it enters through a convex lens, how it goes? Multiple directions. So the eyes won't go there, the ears want to go there, even multiple personality in me, right? One piece of mind will say that, okay, I need to go to this party. The other mind will say that, no, I have to go to that place. And when I go to the party, I see that I didn't do my prayer. So I'll spoil even the party. So that's what happens to people. So it's like a convex lens. Concave lens. Yeah, concave lens, it will get split. Whereas, on the other hand, if the body, mind and intellect, when we are deluded, what is going to happen? The mind gets scattered. Actually, because every senses are going in different direction. When the mind gets cancelled, It is impossible to see things there and face the situation. So on the other hand, what is going to happen? When you are in control, it is like a convex lens. All the sense organs will converge to mind, mind will faithfully report to intellect, intellect will execute the task. So you will be able to do your job, you will be able to feel happy, contented, everything. So that's what happens. When you have clarity, what is going to happen? When your charity is guided by the spiritual wisdom, you will reach your ultimate goal of life, not just the local goals or anything like that. Ultimate goal means uninterrupted happiness, freedom from suffering. We will see more this in Vedanta and even in Gita, but this is what it is. Is this clear? The Ratha Kalpana. So let's go and quickly recap. This is the slide of thing. Current state. My mind is not completely pure. It is turbulent. It is uncontrolled. And current state is what? Charioteer has no control over the horses. What is going to happen? The intelligence doesn't have any control over the mind. Crash. Stage 2. Once you practice yoga, what is going to happen? Charioteer has control over the mind. But you haven't reached the destination. I do have control over the mind, so I control the mind and the journey started. And finally, what it means, Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga is going to help transition you from that stage 1, current stage to stage 1. And once you have complete control over the mind, you can follow the Jnana Yoga, knowledge, and it will eventually take you to the final destination. Don't worry about that. This slide we'll come back and revisit. This is the entire Gita. Approach of Gita and the yoga, everything. So that's it. So we saw verses 14 to 19. 14 to 19 is an enumeration or a description of the Pandava forces blowing their conches. So we saw Krishna and Arjuna entering into the scene in a couple of other things also. In a magnificent chariot. And you saw Arjuna started blowing the conch, and then Krishna started blowing the conch, and then Arjuna, followed by that, you can see everybody. And that sound created complete fear situation for the negative forces. And we saw what exactly is the analogy of the chariot. We exactly went through the Kathopanishad verses, and that's where. But I told you, right, I'll come back and tell you 2 more things. So just 5 more minutes. So 2 names used to refer Krishna in this verse. We'll just see that. And I'm going to number that, and I'll say by the time we studied Bhagavad Gita, we'll have seen at least a lot of names of Krishna. So let's see. What does that mean? The first name. Lost connection. This we have to fix. Yeah, we'll just talk. Madhava. That was the first name. Madhava, and the second name was Rishikesha. What was Madhava? What was Madhava's name meaning? Ma is what?
Goddess of wealth.
Goddess Lakshmi. That is the simple meaning, literal meaning. Goddess Lakshmi means what? Wealth. She represents wealth and prosperity. Dhava means what? The Lord. The Lord of all the wealth in the universe. So the idea is, what we are talking is about the absolute reality or the God. Can you just switch on the AC a little bit down? So just make it 54 because it's a different scale. So no, 10. Yeah, that's good. So Ma, the God or the absolute reality in our culture means infinite. Right? Infinite cannot be described with finite words. So whatever name you use call Ishvara, it's limited. Attribute. What is attribute? Attribute is a characteristics of an object. I will say that this is sweet. That implies that it is not salty. So if you call God with one attribute, that means you are negating the other attributes, which is not correct. It's a little bit high end, but just think through that. Infinite cannot be described through the finite terms. So what they do, they just take a pointer which talks at one aspect of that absolute reality. And that name is called as Sahasranama, 1,000 names of the Lord. So there is Vishnu Sahasranama, there is Shiva Sahasranama, there is Devi Sahasranama, all that. And incidentally, if you go to all these Sahasranamas, they are exactly the same. It should be the same. So if you go to Vishnu Sahasranama, you see a name called Shiva. And if you go to Shiva Sahasranama, you see a name called Vishnu. Without knowing this, these fools, they fight. That's what happens. So this Vishnu Sahasranama has 1,000 names of the God, Vishnu or Ishvara. And one of the name is called Madhava. It is a 72nd name in the Vishnu Sahasranama book. And it means the one who is the Lord of all the wealth. What is the greatest wealth in the universe? What is it?
Happiness.
Vidya. Vidya dhanam sarva dhanal pradhan. Out of all forms of the wealth, the knowledge is the most powerful wealth. Nahi jnanena sadrishyam pavitramika bhudyate. Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna, who is the Lord of all knowledge, is sitting as a charioteer, intellect. Look at the context sensitive meaning. Vyasa uses most appropriate words to describe people. Every time, without fail, you can see throughout the Bhagavad Gita or throughout Mahabharata. This is the Vishada Buddhyo Vyasa. Namostude Vyasa Vishada Buddhyo. So, the one who is the Lord of all the wealth in general and knowledge in particular is Madhava. So that Madhava is first name. So let's go to the. There is again Sanskrit is a context sensitive language. So one word can have multiple meaning depending upon which samasa, the compound you use to elaborate that. So there is one more meaning for this word Madhava. The second meaning of the word Madhava is the one who can be found. Typically you cannot find Krishna. Not easy. But he can be found through one way, through Mauna, silence. The one who can be discovered through silence is also called Madhava. But the predominant meaning is the first one. So the Lord of Lakshmi, the Lord of wealth, in particular, knowledge. And that is why he is placed as the charioteer. Remember in which context Krishna was presented? Tatai Shwetair Hayair Yuktair Mahadis Yandane Sthiru Madhava Pandavas Jaiva. Next meaning is Rishikesha.
Does it mean that everybody possesses intelligence with finite capabilities?
Yeah, but you see, you can make it, that intelligence can be connected to the Ishvara. It's like an FM station tuning to the, your intellect can be connected to that master station, uninterrupted musical flow. So the process of connecting that individual station to the individual radio equipment to the station is called yoga. This is the simple explanation. The second name of Ishvara is called as Rishikesha. Rishikesha, in a lot of Gita you will see some confusing commentaries. A lot of things say Kesha, hair. Then say Rishikanam Isha, the one with curly hair. Krishna may or may not be with curly hair, I have no idea. But the good meaning here is Rishikanam Isha. Rishika meaning what? Your sense organs. What is the sense organ? What are the sense organs? All the 5 sense organs. Isha, one who is the Lord of all the, again the charioteer. Right? He is the one who is controlling the horses. Ultimately he is the Lord, means that is why Rishikesha. The popular destination, Rishikesh, came after this. This is the meaning. The Lord of all sense organs. So he controls, he means, see, Lord is always referred as the consciousness. Please, one word of caution. The moment I utter the word consciousness, don't compare that with the consciousness in the modern neurology. Because these are two different meaning they uses. Neurology, it's a different meaning. But in Vedanta, when you say consciousness, it means that by which you are aware of your own thoughts. A simple definition. That by which you are aware of your own thoughts is called consciousness. And without that consciousness, the sense organs will not work. So that's another deeper meaning. We'll see this. So 2 names of Krishna also we saw. Okay, so thank you. So we will cover verses 20 to 25 next week. Now, it's an interesting scenario. This powerful Arjuna, what happens to him when a situational pressure comes in? And how this divine charioteer helps him. You can always think it as a Krishna rescuing Arjuna, or second option is you can try to find that Arjuna and Krishna in yourself, which would save your chariot. Otherwise, it will be a intellectual exercise. Okay, any questions?